goes like that. So to prevent that, relax. If I have her relax and I just sit there and do that, we get a lot of motion. If I put her in neutral and I do it, we don't get as much motion. So we want to keep her here. You can start from the calf and go down, or you can start from the foot and go up. I like to start at the foot, and I'll explain in a little bit here. We also want to go up to mid-calf. Why? Because when we do our stirrups, the more, what is it in physics, the longer the lever, the more force it takes to move it. You'll see that in the bid. Someone remind me to say that. So pre-wrap and taper like toddlers. If you pull too much or you force them to away, they throw a fit and then they roll up on you. So we're going to just apply enough pressure to get snug, and then we're going to let it kind of dictate where it wants to go. You're going to roll up. You saw that I kind of went around. That's basically a heel lock. And then I go up to about base of the calf, mid-calf. Your first thing is you're going to do anchor strips. First things first, it's got to be on the skin, at least halfway. So I'm gonna put it on the skin. Notice that I didn't go straight. I went in a circle. Why? Well, because the calf is not completely circle all the way down. You have to go in an angle. If I wanted to go here, see how we have some wrinkles underneath. It's not gonna look as good. So all I do, ignore that wrinkle. Here, I'm gonna do 3 anchor strips. One thing I did not say beforehand, and this is, I apologize, I will post both this video that y'all give me as well as last class videos, because I'll say stuff to forget. I don't care if you've learned how to tape an ankle before. I don't care if you've learned continuous. I don't care if you're like, hey, I know how to do this. I'm going to teach the basic HOSA basic. It is the closed basket weave in every step of the way. When you get your letters after your name, you can do it however you want. I don't do this way as an AT, but we're learning the basics so we can go and do our own thing later on once we get letters out of the way. So those are the 3 anchor strips. This is the one that I don't typically like to do this one, but we're going to do it, of an anchor strip around the base. Now, you want to make sure you're not going too tight or too high. It does me no good to go tight here and high here, because I'm gonna have to cut it off because she's not gonna be able to run. So keep this loose and keep it light and keep it low. Okay, so the next is our stirrup. When we ride a horse, the stirrups typically come towards the back of our leg and on our calcaneus, on our heel bone. Why? Because that's where we have more power to steer the horse. If you haven't ridden a horse, I recommend it, it's fun. But our stirrups are taking the same logic, words. So, and because we always typically sprain our ankles with an inversion, we're going to start medial and go lateral to pull it into neutral eversion, okay? So I'm gonna start here. I always like to try to hit posterior to the malleoli, and I like to get on the calcaneus. If you're not sure what calcaneus is, I apologize, that is a heel bone. That's your heel. So there, we're going to basket weaves, mean you do one and then you do another and weave it together. That's the first strip, and then we have our C strips. C strips, we're gonna start basically underneath, come there, and head to our anchors. And then we're gonna alternate 3 times. You'll see that most everything has an overlap. Your stirrups typically do not. We don't want to come up too high. Why? Because we're going medial to lateral. If we get too high up on the arch, we're now causing the arch to fall. So I'm just gonna continue on. Kind of go up a little bit, and as you can see, it might end a little bit differently. Why? Because I followed where her body was pushed in the tape. And then last stirrup. And then last C-strip. Once we get here, we want to help secure these stirrups a little bit more. So you're just gonna kind of do C-strips continuing up, overlapping. You can leave it blank, or you can do what I just did, where you kind of overlap it. Ta-da! C-strips. This is your base, this is your support. We're gonna go down. We're gonna give her a little bit of arch support. So if stirrups are medial to lateral, we want our arch support to be lateral to medial so we can lift this arch up. So basically a C-strip. And when I say C-strip, I really mean C, the letter C, strip, and it just comes back up. It's not a C like hi C or a dolphins in the sea. It's C, quarter C. Okay. Thank you for laughing. I appreciate that. I had to explain that a lot. So in the past, so we've got our arch support. We've got everything else. Now is the fun part of the heel locks. This is the hardest part to do. I have a way to where you can put tape to get two pieces of tape together to where it's double-sided, and you can practice so you kind of get the feel for it. To do a heel lock, you need 2 on each side. I like to go just above, superior to the malleolus. And before I keep going, I'm going to leave it there. When we drive and I turn into a parking lot, do I wait until I get to the parking lot and then turn? No, we kind of edge into it, lean into it. And the same's here. If I sit there and I go, okay, I want to get to the calcaneus, and then I go and turn, I'm going to get wrinkles. So we're going to kind of guide it along like we would a toddler. Hit the calcaneus. Oh, that's not a good angle for you, and I went too. So we're going to come here, hit the calcaneus, hit around, and we're going to start or end where we started. It looks very fancy. It feels very fancy. It's really not once you break it down. So again, other side, so you can see malleolus, hit the calcaneus, hit around, end where I began. You can even start a little bit higher. The hardest part of taping an ankle is adjusting to the ankle that's in front of you. What might work for this foot for Abigail might not be the same thing that I even use for the other foot. Yep, one more. So again, 2 on each side. After this, we have our figure 8s. Think of it as this. If I have a figure 8, we get to go round and around infinity. One circle, other circle. They meet right there. And we could ideally go around and tape as much as we want to in those 2 circles. It's the best way I know how to do it. I'm going to show you I'll give you a cheat in a moment. That's what I said. So, again, I like to start above the lateral malleolus. We're going to go, and this is what example, we're going to go around the back of her calf. This is the hardest part, is getting this angle. So that you can set it up to where there's an X right there, because then all I have to do is come around this. Let me show you the cheat version, because I still use the cheat version. As I said, get in there, just get that angle right to come across. We're not going down to come across with no wrinkles is the hardest part. So let's take that aspect out. Going to sit there, pull it up. I hit it, I want to go right there. Wrap around, and there's my figure 8. Okay? At this point, your checklist will say close up. Don't close up. 1, save tape. 2, to check you off, I literally am going to sit there and go, okay, let's see where it is, and I'm going to pull off piece by piece to make sure that you actually performed everything, because I can kind of get a little befuddled in here and mixed up. And then 2, that way I can give you better feedback on it instead of it looks crinkled or whatever. To get checked off, you have to show this. If you know continuous, I'm so sorry, you have to break it down. It needs to look good. Does it need to look this good? No. You know how many ankles I've taped in my life. Also, this tape isn't the best for like the prettiness factor, but it needs to look sturdy. It needs to look good. And then just explain, hey, what you might need to do better. Just give me one thing of, hey, next time I would like to do this better. Okay? Any questions, concerns? How much time was that video?
That was good time. It's 8:50.